Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for clicking on today's video. I'm going to be teaching you how to crochet one of these adorable keychain coin pouches, or whatever you want to call it, but basically a little pouch. You can clip it on your purse or your belt loop, or I don't know, wherever you want to put this, and it's just a really fun accessory, you know, for like bobby pins or your coins, or just something that's like little, I don't know, a chapstick or whatever. But yeah, so I'm going to be teaching you how to make one of these today, and just a couple things you're going to need. Obviously, the yarn is your choice. The smaller the yarn and the finer it is, obviously the smaller the pouch is going to be. This one fits just about like right in the palm of my hand. So this is a medium 4 cotton, just like a lightweight cotton yarn. I'm going to be using this shade today. It's like a blue tie-dye. But this one is actually the same brand. It's from Hobby Lobby. I forgot what it's called. I'll try to link it below if I can find it. But it's the same yarn, it's just a different color. So that's what I'm going to be using today. Hopefully you guys are able to see the color on camera. I'm still trying to figure out the lighting situation. I have a new office, so it's a little darker in here. I only have one window and it comes in at a funny angle. So still trying to work out the lighting and all that good stuff. Other than that, you're going to need a button. I'm using this little star shank here, and that's just how you latch the lid. I guess I should have showed you what it looks like on the inside. I just have my little card in there, so you open it up. And actually, real quick, I guess the anatomy of this, the bottom is working in the round. Well, the whole thing works in the round until you get to the lid. But this is working in the round, and it kind of starts at the peak there. So off the bat, you can probably tell we're going to be doing, you know, a magic ring or chains and connecting them. But anyway, so yeah, you're going to need a button just to, you know, connect the lid to the rest of the piece. And then to make it a keychain, I guess this is optional, but you will need I don't know what these are called, but you will need a clasp of some sort so that you can make it into a keychain. I forgot the most important part of this project, and that is a crochet hook, because we can't crochet without a crochet hook. The size rubbed off. I believe this is a 4.5 millimeter, but use the size that the yarn you're using recommends. I know a lot of you guys, I get a lot of comments on my videos asking what kind of yarn I'm using and what kind of crochet hook I'm using. It really doesn't matter. Most of these projects are up to you. Obviously, since it's a pouch, you know, if you think it's going to get dirty, cotton yarn is easiest to wash. So that's kind of why a lot of these projects are made with cotton. But again, you can use acrylic, you can use, you know, a polyester nylon blend. You can do whatever you want. So, and really quickly before I jump into this, I just want to show you guys real quick. If you haven't seen my last video, I showed how to make these really adorable honeybee mug rug coasters. So if you're looking for a unique, fun spring pattern for a coaster, definitely go check that out. And if you're new at crochet and you're interested in starting out but you don't know where, I have on my website now, thenorthstitch.com, these adorable little starter kits. You'll get a skein of yarn and a crochet hook, and obviously the information on the back that matches like how many yards and you know, what color and what kind of yarn, all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in starting out crocheting but you don't know where, I definitely recommend picking these up. They are only $8 a kit on my website. All right, enough of that. Let's go ahead and jump right into the tutorial. So we're going to start with the bottom of the piece. Like I showed you, it was kind of rounded out. You can do a magic circle. I'm going to be doing that just because I think it secures the bottom, right? If you're going to be putting something in the pouch, you don't want it to fall through. So the tighter this is, the better. And I found that a magic ring is the best way to do that. But if you're not comfortable doing a magic ring or magic circle, you can chain 4 and connect it with the first chain that you did. So I'm going to find the end of my yarn. I'm going to go in here with my crochet hook to form a magic ring. just like that, and it kind of just like sits there. It's very loose. From here we're going to chain 3, and that's going to be the height of a double crochet, and that does count as 1 double crochet, and we're going to be putting 11 more double crochets into the center ring, and that's going to give us a total of 12. So double crochet is yarn over, insert your hook and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2 loops at a time, yarn over, and pull through the last 2 loops. So you can see that's the same height as the 3 chains that we just did. And as we work, we're going to kind of pull this tail end tight a little bit as we close our gap, but we want it big enough to still be able to work in. So again, double crochet, you yarn over, insert your hook, and yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. And that's 3. So go ahead and continue that all the way around for a total of 12, and that is including that chain 3. And from here, I'm going to slip stitch with the top chain that we did at first. So I'm just going to put my hook through there, yarn over, pull through, and pull through to close that first round, giving this tail end a tug to close that center gap. And that's kind of what I mean. If you did the chains instead of the magic ring, you will still have a tight close, but it won't be as secure. So just something to keep in mind, especially if you chain loosely or if you crochet loose in general. That definitely does make a difference. So to start our second round, we're going to chain 1 to get to the height of a single crochet, and we're going to be increasing this because we want our pouch to start coming out before we work up. So our first round of increasing is going to be 2 single crochets in each round, and there's 12, so that will give us a total of 24. So I just chain 1. I'm going to go into the first one and work 2 single crochets. So a single crochet is you just insert your hook and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through both loops. So we're going to do that all the way around until we have 24. Okay, here I am somewhat back toward the beginning. I'm going to be placing in my last single crochet, and I'm going to be slip stitching to the very first stitch that we did. Our next few rounds until we start to form this pouch look and it folds over, we're just going to be putting in 1 single crochet in each stitch around for as many rounds as we want the height of our pouch. So if you look at this one, you know, like right now we're here. So this is about from here to here. It's anywhere from 6 to 8 rows. It just depends on your preference, but you'll see it start to work up as you work single crochets all the way around, slip stitching at the end, chaining 1 to start each round. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and work up about 6 to 8 rows, and I'll come back here when I'm done. After about rows like 2 or 3, you'll start to have your piece curl on you, and that's exactly what we want because that's how we're going to be creating a dome shape for the pouch. So if it does start to curl toward you, and it will, just pop it inside out like that, and then you'll start to work around as if you're doing an amigurumi shape. So we're gonna go ahead and continue. This is after row 2. I just wanted to stop and show you that real quick. Don't be alarmed, that's supposed to happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and work another 3 to 4 rows. Okay, here I am at the end of row 6. I already slip stitched that last round there. This, I want to show you real quick, this tail end that we had from the beginning. We're just gonna go ahead and pull that tight, tie a knot, and just trim it off. You don't have to trim it too short. You can actually leave it somewhat of a length if you want, just because it's inside and it's hidden in the piece, or you can weave in your ends. It's just up to you. I like to leave it like that and just kind of trim off maybe leaving like an inch or so. And I just tuck that back in. And when I get to this round, I like to kind of tug on my piece because over time it's going to stretch out. So if it looks like it's a little too short, you might just want to leave it there. But I'm matching the one that I made previously, and that is about the same size. Okay, and now I'm going to teach you how to make the lid. So the lid is obviously crocheted on one side. It doesn't go around the whole thing. So from this that we have, we're not going to finish off our yarn. We're not going to cut it or anything like that. We're just going to leave it where it is. We're going to go back in our piece here. We're going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to be working the lid along these back few stitches, actually 8 of them. So we're going to single crochet in 8 stitches along this side. So I'm going to find that first one. And that's our first single crochet. We're going to do that across for 8 stitches. So there's our 8 along the back. From here, we're going to be chaining 1, and we're going to turn our work, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do 1 single crochet in 8 stitches across. So we're just following along those top ones. The first one here is right under that chain 1. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and our last one, 8. Okay, and we're going to repeat that just 2 more times. So chain 1 and turn, 1 single crochet in the next 8, and you're going to do that 2 times. Okay, so I just finished my last row of 8 single crochets, so we kind of have this lid that has built upwards on one side, and now we're going to do a decrease row. We want our lid to start rounding out, and then I'll show you how to make this button loop up here. So we're going to chain 1 and turn, and for our first decrease row, we're going to be doing the first 2 together, 1 single crochet in the next 4, and then the last 2 together. We're going to single crochet the first 2 together, there's 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. We're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 4. And we're going to single crochet the last 2 together. So insert our hook and pull through, find the next stitch, insert our hook, pull through, there's 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches across instead of 8. We're going to chain 1 and turn and work another decrease row. We're going to do the same exact thing again. We're going to single crochet the first 2 together, we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 2, and we're going to single crochet the last 2 together. And now we have 4 stitches across. So we're going to work 1 more row of just 4. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn and just do 1 single crochet in each of these 4. And now we're going to make our button loop. And this depends on the size button that you chose. So mine's gonna end up going right here, and this flap is gonna come down. So I kind of figure anywhere from 4 to 5 chains, because if you look at this one here, and this one's a smaller button, so this one had like 3 to 4 chains up top here, and that was like the circumference of the button. So we're going to be doing the same thing for this one here. So I'm going to try, and if you're not sure, you can try to do a couple at a time and fit the button through there before you secure it to see if it works. So let's start by chaining 4. I'm going to kind of turn my work and slip stitch over here. So we have the 4 chains coming out of that first one, and we're going to find the last one over here and just slip stitch it. I'm going to kind of hold that and secure it there with my thumb, because I'm going to try to put this button through there and see if 4 was enough. And it does glide through there nicely. I'm not forcing it too much. It does glide nicely. It's not too tight, it's not too loose, and that's exactly what we want. So that's a good way to test how many chains you'll need. I could even do 3 and get away with it. Like I said, over time it's going to loosen up. So I'm going to do 4 for now. So however many you decide, chain up that many and then slip stitch it over here to the other side. And then from here, we're actually just going to be single crocheting down both sides of the lid, around the pouch itself, and back up the other side of the lid. And that's going to secure and make kind of a sturdier look to the pouch. And obviously here on the lid there's not defined stitches going on here, and that's totally okay. You can just kind of eyeball where you would put a stitch. So maybe I'll put one here and just single crochets right here. So I'm just working my way down the lid. And now I'm at that corner. So I'm going to put one here in the corner. And now I got to the edge of the pouch. I'm going to work single crochets all along here, and the same thing I did on this side, back up this side of the lid, and I'll show you what to do after that. So I'm making my way back up around the other side of the lid. I'm almost done here to this button loop. So I'm going to put my last single crochet there. I'm going to put one here where the loop meets the piece, and I'm actually also going to be putting in a single crochet in each of these little chains in the button loop. They are kind of tighter, so if you have to switch, because they're chains, so if you do have to switch to a smaller crochet hook, you can. This one actually might be too small, but I think it'll do the trick. So we're just going to do single crochets into the chains of the button loop. And I did 4, so there should only be 4. I'm going to switch back over, and from here I'm done. I'm just going to slip stitch into the piece itself to kind of secure that end. I'm going to finish off by pulling up on the yarn, and I'm just going to pull that tail end through this loop to tie it off. And I like to take this and weave it, hide it into the rest of the piece just a couple times. And actually you can kind of see the orange pop out there, so just maybe follow the colors or whatever. For the sake of time in the tutorial, I'll just finish it here. But just weave it in a couple times. I do like this tie-dye look though. I think it's really neat. It's kind of beachy, especially with this like starfish button going on there. This would be really cute to bring to the beach and collect seashells or something like that. That's actually really cool. So now I'm going to teach you real quick how to attach the button. So I'm just going to take, and I have a shank, so if you don't have a shank and it's a regular button, you'll have to sew it on yourself or attach a button like you normally would with the 4 or 2 holes. This is a shank, so it's a little easier. I'm gonna take a piece of yarn that's just like the size of my hand. And I'm going to find a way, sometimes depending on the shank that you pick, the yarn won't fit through there. I'm actually going to show you a really cool technique if that is the case for you. Okay, so whenever you have yarn that's too thick to go through the button loop, this is what I recommend using instead. This is a sewing needle with just a piece of thread looped around and tied around the needle. So from here, what we're going to do is rest the yarn through that loop, just like that. It's just going to sit there. And we're going to take our button and we're going to put this needle through the shank. And that's going to help us guide the yarn through the button. Just like that. And once we have that, we're going to go on our piece here. And when we fold this down, we want to kind of see where the loop falls on the piece, and that's where we're going to be attaching the button. So I want to say maybe in the middle here, about 2-3 rows up. So I'm going to take my crochet hook and find a loop in there. And we're going to be pulling one side of this through the piece and then the other side in a stitch right next to it, if that makes sense. So I'm going to find this, pull one side through, not all the way through because you don't want this to come off the button. And then kind of right next to this stitch on the same row, not in the same stitch, but maybe next to it or the one, you know, 1 or 2 over. I'm going to go through here, find my yarn, and just pull it through. And then if we look on the inside, we have both strands coming through the back side. I'm going to make sure they're the same length, and I'm going to go ahead and tie them off. I'm going to double knot it. So there's one. And you can sew it as well. I just like to do this because I found that it might not seem super secure, but it's just a pouch. It's not like a heavy duty. You're not putting anything super heavy in here. So, but if you're more comfortable sewing it, that's totally up to you. I just like to double or triple knot mine. And of course, you can always reattach it if it falls off or whatever. So that's what I do, triple knot it, and then from here, because it is on the inside, I'm going to do the same thing as that magic ring and just leave about 1 inch. And it is in the piece, so it will be hidden in there. So now our button is attached, and we're just going to make sure that the lid comes down and is able to, that loop is able to secure the button in place. So the last thing, and this is optional, if you don't want to make your pouch into a keychain, then you're done, but I'm going to show you how to chain a piece for the keychain and then how to attach this clasp onto it. So I have a clasp right here, and what I'm going to do is take the yarn from my pouch And I'm going to take about 24 inches or so. Definitely more than necessary, just in case you mess up or end up, you know, needing more than you thought. But we're gonna be doubling. When we make a chain, a series of chains, we're gonna be doubling the yarn. So this is probably about 24 inches or 12 inches with it being folded. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut that piece off here. And this folded edge, so we have two ends. We have the loose ends over here and the folded edge over here. And we're gonna go ahead and find a way to get this through the loop. It might just work by pushing it, but you can use, like I said, that method with the sewing needle, or you can even use like a smaller crochet hook or something that just pokes right through there. Let's see if I can get this. This is a 2mm crochet hook, so it's definitely small enough to fit right in the eye of that. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that for now to guide this through, just like that. So from here, I'm going to go in with my crochet hook. And now this is not going anywhere because I'm going to be crocheting it into the piece. So it's just kind of resting there. And I'm going to start making a series of chains with both pieces of yarn because it's doubled. So I'm just going to yarn over and pull through to make a chain. And I'm going to do that for as long as I want my keychain to be. So I figure this is a decent length. It's about 4 to 6 chains or so. So I have, was that 2? So here's 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's do 6. But you can see here now I have that much left, so that's why it's important to overshoot how much you think you need. And from here, I'm just going to pull my hook all the way through and pull the yarn through. And this is going to create a knot on the end. And now we're going to attach this piece onto the pouch. You can either do this on the back center so that your keychain is coming up from the back, or you can do it from the sides, kind of like how I have here, how it's on an angle. It's up to you. I'm going to do one on the angle, and it might help to open this up while you're attaching these. We're going to attach it to the corner. So I'm going to find the corner. And similarly to how we put the 2 strands through the piece to do the button, that's what we're going to do here. So we have 2 strands coming out of that keychain. So I'm going to put one through here. So I'm going to insert my hook and pull just one of the strands through here. And then not in the same one, but a different stitch right next to that, I'm going to go through and pull the other strand all the way through. And from here, I'm going to tie them off just like I did to the button. So I'm going to double knot it. And I'm also going to do one of these wraparound loop knots. And there it is connected on the side. As far as trimming and hiding these, I recommend just weaving them in and out. Obviously, like colors, so hide them in the piece and then you can trim them off. And that is it for this crochet keychain pouch. And I hope it was easy and fun to follow. Please send me your designs and creations over at Instagram if you want. I like to shout people out in my Instagram stories and also in my videos. I'll be doing that pretty soon here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this pattern and it was fun and easy to follow. Like I said, don't forget to check out these crochet starter kits over on my website for $8 at thenorthstitch.com, and check out my other videos so you can find fun little creations like this coaster and other fun things I have planned coming up in the future. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to support my channel and you like these videos so I can make more of them. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I will see you guys in the next video.